Guys, yeah, we are getting into the mood of live streaming this time together with Lilith
Yes.
from Visual Makers, but more about her in a little bit. Today we've got something very special for you guys. We got the lead tracking guide. And first of all, as usual, you know that YouTube is the best place to experience this meetup. It has the best streaming quality. We're going to share a lot of detailed spreadsheets today. Yeah, and if you want to be able to read it during the live stream, you'll be best advised to go to pirateskills.com/YT. While you're there, subscribe, like, leave a comment. That would be very appreciated. And you can also discuss stuff with us on our Discord community. Discord is like a chat server where you can chat and ask questions during the live stream, but also after the live stream. While the video is gone, yeah, pretty much the live stream after it's up, the Discord community gives us a place to connect beyond that. And feel free to join us there. And to make it a bit more fun and interactive, you can actually ask your own questions here, yeah?
And please do so.
Yeah, please do so. At the end, we will answer all of the questions in order of upvotes. What that means is you need to scan, probably with your phone, this QR code, or just go to pirateskills.com/questions. And then you will be able to see this beauty here. This is our Slido where you can ask questions and upvote them. And at the end, we will answer them in order of most upvotes.
Yes.
Yeah, so keep engaging, make this yours. This is the biggest difference between the recording that we do afterwards and actually being here during the live stream. So make it fun for you and for us. All right, that's it. How are we doing in terms of sound? Christina, are we good? Woo! Awesome. Ready to rock?
Perfect. Let's do it.
So, welcome everybody to the Pirate Skills live stream. Today, we're going to show you the most awesome lead tracking guide. And this will really help you to measure your lead generation success. It's so important that you actually are able to see how many leads are you collecting, what do they cost, and ideally, how much money are you making with those leads in order to make confident decisions and spending your money wisely. As always, we give you everything to download and look into for free. If you go to pirateskills.com/lead-tracking, you will see a landing page where you can sign up for free. And then you have lessons in there where you find the video recording, the PDF from the slides to download. And as you can see below, links to the Google Data Studio dashboard, to the Excel, to the Google spreadsheet. Geez, I said the word Excel. I saw really awesome Excel dashboards, and I was like, fuck, if it wasn't Microsoft, I would really love that.
You can do them with Google Sheets as well.
Yeah, I hope so. But they looked on a level of interactivity that was really amazing. But you get everything here for free. Yeah, and we will also put things up on the Visual Makers site. Yeah, but about that in a little bit. You guys know me. I'm Ben. I'm a founder, and I need this nerdy stuff. Yeah, in order to make my marketing campaigns work, in order to grow the products, the impact, and the profits that I want. It's not for just being a nerd, even though I love that, but it's actually extremely helpful. And I got inspired by Lilith over here to actually even look into this no-code world. And how about you tell us a little bit of what you are doing?
Yeah, sure, happy to. First of all, I'm happy to be here. I'm Lilith, I'm the co-founder of Visual Makers. We're doing an online school for no-code, so to say. So we teach people how to create software or create these guides like tonight without having to write a single line of code. I'm also the host of the Visual Makers podcast, where you were actually a guest a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting episode. And I'm a true pirate.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Yes.
Like we met at Pirate Summit 2017,
Yes.
I guess. Yeah,
Yes.
so 4 years ago. And this is a place in Cologne, a conference that happens there where there's like 70% internationals and 30% Germans. And it's such a truly spirited event, and it influenced me greatly. I've been there since the first event in 2011, I think. And it was one of the reasons why I actually moved to Cologne, not to Berlin. Yeah, and
Oh,
I
really?
met you there. And most of the good people I met here, I just met at Pirate Summit.
Yeah, same for me actually. And also the spirit, I feel like pirate is my kind of entrepreneurial home. So yeah, truly a pirate.
Absolutely. So, what do we have in store for you guys? I think the first thing we need to discuss why you're scared to spend €1,000 on your lead magnets. Maybe you think that's peanuts. Then why are you scared to spend €10,000? Yeah, because what you need is a report that gives you the confidence to know what's worth spending money on. Yeah, and we want to share with you how this is built and how you can get started on this journey. Upfront, this is the big topic. Yeah, and we have about an hour, maybe 90 minutes to go deep into this, but feel free to ask your questions. Yeah, feel free to get in touch afterwards if you need more help with implementing that. This is a more advanced topic, but we want to make it as accessible for everybody as you want. And the thing is, once you see what you can get, you want it too. Yeah, it's
Yes.
very hard to go back once you just saw that. Shall we dig in?
Yes, let's do that.
So why aren't you spending €1,000 on your lead magnets?
Well, because I'm not sure because I have a lot of data, right, from my leads, but I don't really know how to sort them, what is more important than the other thing, and like I have all these data, but I can't really visualize it and handle it. So that's why I'm pretty insecure, I would say, to
Same here. Yeah, it's for everybody in every project that I am. There is always the urge to actually cut marketing costs. Yeah, because they feel it's an expense. And it all goes back to one of our basic equations that we showed a couple of times during the past meetups. You are very unhappy if let's show you. If your cost per acquisition, how much it costs to actually acquire a customer, is higher than the customer lifetime value, how much you're making with your customer. That's really bad. That means you have a non-scalable business. Yeah, that sucks. And most of what we do in the startup world is figuring out how to make this equation look like this. Yeah, that your cost per acquisition is smaller than your customer lifetime value, and that you can really build that hockey stick. Before you have managed that, it's really, really hard to do, and no investor would be willing to substantially support you. Or if you take your own money, if you're bootstrapping, then you are even less likely to invest that money. And then we always think, oh, €1,000 of ad budget on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, it's way too much. Yeah?
because it feels like an expense and not an
Yes.
investment, and
Yeah.
that's a big difference, I think.
Yeah, but once you have solved this, you will never see this as an expense again, but like an investment. Yeah, but you need to prove that to yourself and to the stakeholders you're getting money from. So the problem is that most people don't know their cost per acquisition. They don't know for sure their customer lifetime value, and they for sure don't know what profits are coming from which expenses. Yeah, that's the big mystery. So let's start to dig into that. So what's the cost per acquisition? How would you go about figuring that out? What are your first thoughts?
So what I would probably go for, okay, what is when we get the example with marketing spend, right?
Yeah.
Then I would say, okay, what is my marketing spend so far, and how many leads did I acquire with that marketing spend for one campaign?
Yeah, for example, just pick one campaign that is pretty isolated, that ideally is not exposed to organic and SEO traffic, and see if you spend 1,000 or just €100 on that, how much does it cost to get a lead? That is the first cost per acquisition that I would be interested in. And how many of those leads become customers? And this is the cost per customer acquisition. Yeah. And customer lifetime value goes pretty much the same. How much revenue did you make over a certain period of time with how many customers? That gives you your average customer lifetime value. Yeah. And then you can start asking questions like, hey, okay, then how does it break down to the lead level? And how much revenue am I actually earning from these leads? And the fundamental core question, is this party profitable? Yeah. That is the thing. Is it profitable? Is it not profitable? And that is the question. Yeah. And the lead tracking guide that we built is fully focused on answering that singular question. And you don't have to do this for everything in your business. Yeah. You can just start with a couple of lead magnets that you might have in mind. Let's just imagine you have 5 campaigns. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about how to build interactive lead magnets like quizzes, contests, calculators, goodies, downloads, stuff like that. And if you want to pick that up, it's at pirateskills.com/interactive, a complete video and a guide how to create those. Also with no-code tools like Outgrow, Involve.me, Kickoff Labs, stuff like that. And now imagine we have 5 campaigns. We are in a B2B business. We are selling a product, maybe something purely digital for roughly €100, and maybe a course like at Visual Makers, maybe the complete bundle for €750. I don't know your pricing, yeah, but we can show that later maybe. So you have a price range between €100 and €750. That pretty much puts it clearly in the B2B segment, yeah. It could be also, let's say, if you have a jewelry store, it could be easily B2C as well. So now you think, okay, I always want to have 5 tests up and running every month. And I'm going to build 5 different lead magnets. Just as an example, we have a survey, like a personality test that helps you to find what is the right product for you. So that would be a quiz, actually, not a survey. Then a calculator that would be like a price calculator or a product recommendation engine, yeah? That you can all build without ever writing one line of code, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so what kind of tools would you use to create this, beside like Outgrow and Involve.me?
Perspective is another cool tool, and Heyflow is a pretty great tool. Actually, we just interviewed the founder in our podcast, actually, to build also Heyflow. Yes, cool. To build ClickFlows.
Okay, so if you go to visualmakers.com.de, yeah?
Yes, okay, it's a German platform, actually.
Visualmakers.de, they have fantastic like overviews of tools,
yes.
Yeah, to check out. So that is highly recommended. So we have a couple of campaigns. That means we can let everything else run, but we try with those 5 campaigns to actually find, is this profitable or not? Highly recommended to start with a smaller scope and with a small time frame and a small budget. So what we're going to do is just have 5 different campaigns that we run on different marketing channels. And we're just going to spend €1,000 in the first month. When we're happy with the results, we're going to spend €2,000. When we're happy with the result, we're going to spend €3,000 across those same 5 campaigns, but an optimization phase in each time. And the goal is to play this fun game. Spend €1,000, earn 2,000. Isn't that a fun game? Yeah. And not only in revenue, but to actually get that in net profit. Yeah, this is just an example. You can do this with €100. You can do this with €100,000. Yeah, I've seen both. It works like magic. But be glad for the time when you're still working with smaller numbers. It's way easier to control, and where you have way less other influences in your tracking. Yeah. So in order to get there, we need this awesome report. Shall we dig it out?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So this is the lead tracking report that you need. So what you're looking at right now is a Google Data Studio dashboard. You can get a direct link to that if you go to pirateskills.com/lead tracking and sign up for free, to get into that free course where we bundle all of the downloads. There you have the direct link to go to the Data Studio dashboard. But let's open it up in our browser, all right? and take some time to go through that. No, I lied. I want to show you that on the iPad. Yeah. So maybe we show it first in the browser to see that it's really actually something interactive.
Yeah.
So Google Data Studio, what is it? What can you do with that?
Well, Google Data Studio is a tool to visualize data, and actually it helps you to understand your data that you are generating, by example, from your leads, and helps you understand what your data says to you.
Does it replace Google Analytics?
No, it doesn't, because the Google Analytics can, by example, be displayed in Google Data Studio as well, but with really custom reports. You can customize Google Analytics as well, but in Google Data Studio you can connect a lot more tools. So it's a really awesome tool to kind of gather all your data in one report and not only have Google Analytics.
So it's for gathering, working a little bit on the data set, but connecting many data sources. And Google Analytics is just one. So you build Data Studio on top of Google Analytics if you want. But as you can see today, we don't even need Google Analytics. We're using Google Spreadsheets, we're using your CRM, using all kinds of sources that you can manage automatically or manually. Yeah.
And the best thing is that all these tools are free in the Google Suite.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing.
So here you can see a little bit. We're going to zoom in a moment, but you can see you have multiple pages where you can create custom reports as you want them, and you can build whatever you like. This is even just a very, very slim representation of what we could have shown. But first of all, this is work in progress, and if you look at this thing in a couple of weeks, this is going to look way more awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to always build those tools as like best practice examples. For example, the screenshot you saw from the interactive lead magnet guide looks a little bit different because I learned more stuff. I added more formats, inspiration, and that's going to be the same with the lead tracking guide. So let's open it up. But in order for you guys to see it properly and big, let's just zoom in. Yeah, we're not going to be visible. And you're going to see us in a little bit afterwards. So let's dig in. Okay, let's move a bit closer. Yeah, destroy the audio and scream into the microphone. So now we are sharing this here, and we can annotate this. Yeah, make you lovely hearts. So the first thing you see at the top is a time frame. We created and modeled a data set that is pretty realistic in a time frame from 1st of July to September 30th. And this is now a fixed time frame that we show. In the dynamic dashboard later, you can choose your own time frame that you want to look at, which is super powerful. You can also add comparison time frames. So you can see, oh yeah, I earned 1,750 leads in that time, but this is plus 23% from the comparison time frame. Yeah, so at the top, you can arrange the time frame, and what I like to do is have like a little widget dashboard of all of the big numbers. So let's go through the most important numbers here. The first thing you see is the number of leads. This is the easiest to track. How many people are actually getting in there? Then how much money have you spent? This you can either input manually or let this be done by a Google Sheet add-on, which we're going to talk about in a second. Those two result into my cost per lead. Yeah, just divide the amount you spent by the number of leads and you're done. This is the first most important thing to focus on. Yeah, it's easy to track, and it's doable for everybody. And I would say 80% of businesses would be happy with just optimizing for cost per lead, right?
So should I start always with these three data points?
I would do so. Yeah, like the absolute minimum is number of leads, then the number of leads combined with the cost. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is the first part. Then once you got that on hand, what you want to do is actually understand how many customers did you generate from that? So the next big box would be this one here. How many people converted from leads to customers? Yeah, this conversion here. That is very important. Also, that conversion rate might be very interesting to you. That is another widget I would love to put on there. And then you can look over the time period that you have chosen. How much money did you make in gross revenue with people? Yeah, maybe excluding VAT, but this is my gross revenue. I did not subtract any costs yet. And I just see like, how much did I now spend? Amount spent and the number of customers. How much did I pay to acquire the customer? And now you got your CPA. You got the first big part of the formula. Yeah. And you could also now already say, what is my customer lifetime revenue? Yeah. So this is not CLV and value and revenue. That's a bit of a discussion, but this would be lifetime revenue. Yeah, if you take the revenue divided by the number of customers. But as we all know, this could, maybe we sometimes switch between us here. Hi guys. Sometimes you make your money immediately once you acquire the customer, but sometimes you have a subscription model. Yeah. And you get paid like Netflix, like $10 per month. And you want to wait a certain period of time before you say like, okay, this is the amount of time, like 15 months. This is the revenue I'm going to call customer lifetime revenue. And in our example, we simplified things. People are just buying everything just once. Yeah. Of course, we never want that to happen, but that makes everything a bit easier here. So we just look at this simplified version. All right, then if you want to up the ante even more, yeah, you can now say, what did I actually pay in order to sell my goods? This is called COGS, or costs of goods sold. Here, that the popular shortcut here is COGS. Very beautiful handwriting, right?
So beautiful.
So in this case, I earned 58K, but I had to spend roughly 20K in order to earn that. That could be the delivery of the service, because you have to pay an employee to deliver that, or a freelancer, or you have you are selling a book and you have to pay the costs of producing, shipping, and handling the book, and maybe some refunds. And that gives you the advantage. If you have that, you have your cost of goods sold, even if you estimated that. Yeah, I like to use a goal for my business of not more than 30% of my revenue should be cost of goods sold. Not more than the other third should be cost per acquisition. And the last third should be my net profit. Yeah. When you do that, you can create from the revenue minus the cost of goods sold minus the ad spend. That is your net profit. Yeah, it is a simplified form of profit. It's not your office, it's not your expensive chairs, it's not all of your interns. It's a simplified way for us marketers to look, oh yeah, we are causing costs with our customer acquisition, and we cannot spend the whole revenue. Yeah, that gives us the opportunity to look at return of investment. In this case, we make a return of investment. We spent 6,000 euro and we increased that investment by 446% in 3 months. That is an awesome investment.
That is pretty awesome.
Now this is where people also get stuck. Yeah, let's switch back to the camera. People have absolutely weird expectations of returns of investment in the marketing and performance marketing world. What would you say if we how much do you earn about with a visualmakers.com customer, like the courses?
So we don't exist a year yet, and we have a yearly
hard to
subscription. So we
Can
have
you say $100?
No, it's more. It's 200.
Maybe
So,
200.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's just simplify this. Let's say 200 euro, and now we are spending 1,000 euro. What would you expect? How many customers do you want to get for those 1,000 euros? Just out of what does your gut tell you? You're spending 1,000 fucking euros. How many customers do you get?
I would like right from my gut. It's 3 times more than I spend probably.
3 times more than you spend.
Yeah.
And or like a
Like
third of
not
what you
the
earned?
customers, but like
3 times more than you spend. You want the
Yeah.
return of investment. You want it to triple.
Yeah.
Okay. That is excellent because that is pretty typical. What I hear from other projects. Now think about me being an investment broker, and now I'm gonna call you, Lilith, and I'm gonna say, girl, in 3 months you're gonna triple your money. Do you want to invest in my amazing stock? What would you tell me?
well, in this example, probably sure.
No, you would say, get the fuck out of here, you scam artist. Yeah. On the stock market, you are a master when you get to cash in 10% over a fucking year. You spend 100,000 euro, you're super happy when you make at the end of the year 110,000 in total. It gives you a profit of 10,000 euro. You're in crypto, you're super happy if you make 50% over a year, consistently over several years. In marketing, we are like, dang, we didn't triple our money in 3 months, and now the campaign is bad. Dang, let's turn it off. Yeah. So just to keep it real, yeah, I'm gonna point at a number that it's totally fine if this shows 1% or 0%. Yeah. Here, this number, if this would be not negative, just 0%, you just got your ad spend for free. You invested 6,000 euro. You reached 600,000 people for that, and you made 0 money back in net profits. You still just got a free check for 6,000 euro. Isn't that amazing?
Yes,
So,
definitely.
but lots of people are just not grogging that. So my first goal, once I fully commit through all of those numbers, is get above 0%. Yeah, that is the first milestone we should go after. So now we covered the basics, and we saw that we have already very unreasonable profits here. Yeah, but this is actually what is expected. Now the next graph we show here is just how many leads did we generate over this period of time, and you can already see that there seems to be some steps up. This is July, this is August, this is September, yeah, 2021, and you can see that we stepped up the gas and that we are producing more results. But this is working. This thing seems to be producing leads. We still don't know, are they profitable yet or not? You can see if you scroll further that this pretty consistently grows together with our ad spend. Here we spent about 30 bucks. Yeah, you can see the scale down here. It's 30 euro, and there you can see the dates. And here we started to spend roughly 60, and here roughly 100 euro per day. So it's 1,000 in the first month, 2,000 in the second month, 3,000 in the third month. Yeah, but broken down by 100 bucks per day. So now, what are we getting for our money? And this is where this becomes way more interesting. Oh, we got now revenue per day. You can see the big problem which most people drive against. Can you imagine what that is? Let's discuss that for a second.
Well, if I look at that graphic, it's probably that in the first month you don't really see results, right? You see a lot of leads if we scroll up. You see a lot of leads, but you don't see consistent revenue yet.
Yeah, and there are just a couple of sales events happening here, and it's really hard to say this was campaign 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, fuck, this is really hard. Like, this is not a pitch to spend more money, but this is a pitch that at the beginning your results are going to be super inconsistent, and the more you are able to confidently spend, the more consistent your results become, and the more confident you become in spending more.
So what is a good time frame to be able to say if a campaign is successful or not?
Okay, so what you need to know for that is how much time is the lag time between acquiring a lead and making a sale. Yeah, And in most businesses, in e-commerce, it's usually 1 to 7 days. You make an ad, people buy on the first day when they see the ad, up to a week, and then it drops down very heavily. In B2B, it can take like 3 to 6 months. I have people coming and working with me who are watching my streams since like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And regularly people telling me, Ben, I saw you in Stuttgart like 6 years ago at an event. You showed some nerdy slides. Are you still doing this? Yeah. Like really big corporate customers.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, how am I going to track that? So you have to decide what is reasonable. And there is a reason why I chose the time frame of 3 months, because for most bootstrap businesses, this is pretty much as long as they can wait to make their money back. So if you are making a lead, earning it on day 1, you need to make your money back on day 90. And especially if you want to scale fast, even when you have a bigger business, a cashback cycle time, cashback cycle time, you can Google that, of roughly 90 days is always very appreciated. If it's shorter, it's great. One product I promoted with Klarheit with a cashback cycle time of like 3 days. Or it was negative because Facebook wanted the money back later than we earned it. You can make that. You can make that happen. But in B2B, it's more reasonable to acquire a customer, to nurture them, and then to earn the money over a period of time. So 30 days if possible, 3 months at a maximum. And this is why I chose 3 1-month periods, but where we could actually see results from the first month still happening today.
Makes total sense.
So this is what you're seeing. Now you see, all right, revenue, but how does this actually break down with our campaigns? And I know those are a lot of numbers. So let's talk through them with the first simple example. I told you we have 5 campaigns. Let's zoom in here. And those 5 campaigns are these wonderfully named campaigns. So you realize they were in 2021 in July, and they're called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry for that. And you can see how much we spent over that period of time. This was just in July, started on the 1st, ended on the 31st. And you see how much money we spent, and then how many leads we generated. Now, from this perspective, just from this, what would you say? Which is the best campaign? And everybody else, just think about it for yourself. Which is the best campaign?
Is that one cost per lead?
That is cost per lead.
All right, then I would say it's the first one.
There's one here. Seems to be obviously the cheapest one. I can get my leads here pretty cheap. Those are really bad, like the number 3 and 5. They seem to suck. 10 times more expensive than the other ones. So we got 3 candidates, like 1, 2, and 4. Now, this is as much, like, let's switch back to the camera. This is as much information as you get when you just focus on the number of leads and how much you spend. That's how far you can see. And that is already great if you haven't been doing that before. Now, let's see what you get when you also figure out how much money you're making back. Now, we see for each campaign how many customers. You see like 1 customer, 3 customers. Let's get rid of all of those lines. So you can see 1 customer, 3 customers, 4 customers. But also 2 campaigns really fucked up and created 0. That was campaign 3 and 5.
But that is still consistent with our cost per lead, right?
It is. It is. There was very little chance to actually create a customer here. But you can already see big differences here with campaign number. Like the most promising ones, we said from this perspective, is
the first one.
The first one and the 4th one.
Yes.
Because while this generated only 30 leads compared to 44, it created 4 customers. And now we can look at the cost per customer is a 4th. Compared to the first one. This is not looking at revenue yet. Now let's start to look at that. Let's move on. Now we see that we have costs and we have expenses that are associated with providing the service. And this is the way this data gets inputted is the next part of this live stream. Yeah, so don't worry about that. That's going to come in. So we had to spend 166 euro for the first campaign, and we had to spend an extra 232 to deliver the service, to get the product produced and delivered and refunds handled. Yeah, and that gives us different costs that are associated per customers in different campaigns, and also different revenues. Yeah, you can see that here we made from a single sale 499 euro, and here we made in total 669 euro revenue from 4 sales. So the average revenue per customer is pretty different. Yeah, but still it's hard to compare because it's only 1 sale versus 4 sales. It's statistically not significant yet. Yeah,
Yes.
and by any means, we are just making judgment calls in the first month. Yeah, and that results into differences in net profit and the ROI. You can see that after we subtracted all of the costs, the first campaign netted us 132 euro profit. That's great. Any profit I take happily. Yeah. And the fourth campaign actually netted us twice as much. But we also got 2 campaigns that dragged us down. This guy and this guy. Yeah. So they lost us money.
Yeah.
Our investment, return of investment was minus 100%. We lost our stock completely. We got fucked. Yeah. But 2 of them are looking pretty nice. Now there's actually another one looking pretty nice. What about campaign number 2? We kind of ignored it. Yeah.
That's true.
So what happened here? Here we have our candidate that had 29 leads. Not bad. It's pretty close. Oh, now we kind of overlooked it. How did that happen?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we.
I seriously
Yeah.
overlooked it.
Me too.
Yeah?
Me too.
Yeah. So it generates 3
Kind
customers.
of always third best.
Yeah,
kind of.
it's third best, but it has pretty low cost per acquisition. It has pretty high cost per revenue per customer, and it actually resulted in the biggest net profit. Isn't that surprising?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the power of what we are talking about here. It's like seeing the non-obvious.
Yeah.
Suddenly, yeah, everybody has enough common sense to break things down. You should be earning more money than you're spending. Okay, genius, but fucking how? Yeah, and in growth marketing, it's experiment driven. Do a lot of reasonable experiments that have a high chance to be positive, and then get rid of the ones that are not working and double down on the ones that are working.
But I mean, that's actually the challenge, right? To decide not only on your gut feeling, like which campaign is doing great and which is not, because just based from gut feeling, when you look at the first numbers, like in my case, just starting out, I would have gone for the first campaign, which would probably have led not to loss, but we don't know what would happen in the future. So, and with that, you can really do data-driven decisions.
Yeah, and you can get more relaxed. You realize at some point you just need one profitable campaign that you can scale. Yeah, and it's gold digging. Yeah, I mean we have pirate skills here. It's gold digging. It's like if you have 100,000 acres, you just need to find the 1 acre with the golden vein and dig deep. And this is something that people don't get somehow. They rather are hustling all over the 100,000 acres. It feels somehow productive, and stuff is happening. They are finding gold, but at the same time, you should also like chillax, look at the numbers, learn from them, and then start digging more in the areas that are most promising. Yeah. So let's do that. And let's see how those campaigns evolve over time. Now, you can download this everything, and look at it deeper later. So, but let's see what now happens on the next page of our Data Studio report. Just to give you a bit more context, what those campaigns actually were. Yeah, if you look here, the first campaign was Facebook newsfeed with targeting lookalike audiences in the US, male and female, 25 to 54 of the people who already purchased. Yeah. Now, the second one is similar, but the medium is differently. It goes directly into the messenger. It's a messenger campaign with the people who have visited the website in the last 30 days. That assumes that you have the traffic. The fourth campaign is a LinkedIn campaign on the normal LinkedIn newsfeed where we target people with the title Head of Innovation. The next one is a LinkedIn in-mail campaign. You know those annoying ones?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Super annoying, but they also are focused on the people who have visited your page, so you're not annoying as usually those in-mails are, because you know they have been on visualmakers.com. Now you send them an in-mail. Isn't that cool? Because they didn't convert. I mean, that now gets less annoying. Yeah. And the last one is an Instagram stories campaign. Yeah. Where again, with the same target group as with Facebook lookalike of purchases. And we just have 3 lead magnets, A, B, C, and we put them into the most fitting campaign. Yeah. So this is actually the 5 campaigns, and they just repeat every month with different budgets. Yeah, because we learned, oh yeah, this is working good, this is not working good. Let's shift budgets and maybe tune a little bit in the campaign. Yeah,
based on the graphics that we had before, right? On the data that we had before. Yeah,
exactly. So in the first month, you can see in July that this campaign number 1 makes the most, creates the most leads. Yeah, this one here, and we see that, and we see the net profit distribution. Now we saw. Again, this is also pretty helpful here. You can see that now, now that we actually see this heat map. Yeah, let me zoom in this here. We can see that number 2 is excellent.
Yeah.
True. It's not like this. Google Data Studio helped us to make our brains function on less energy. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. And we see these 3 are our candidates. Now, what would we do? Now, next month, we set aside a budget of 2,000 euro. What shall we do? Now we spend more money, hopefully, on the campaigns that have better results. So what I chose here is to exactly do that, to put more money. The average would be 400 normally, 2,000 euro divided by 4. So I put 480 in number 1. 400 in number 2 because I wasn't sure. I didn't realize, I didn't see the insight. I just kept it at the average. And my best one that I supposed was the best was the number 4. But I cut the budget for the bad ones because it's too early to cut them off completely. It's a reasonable channel. It was a good lead magnet. Why cut it off after 200 euro ad spend?
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, like that's too early. Like you can make thousands and thousands of euros. Why would you cut it off after 200 euros? So I gave it a little knockdown. I gave it a second chance to evolve in the second period. But I definitely doubled down on the ones that are more successful. Yeah, and let's see if the results are consistent, or maybe we got some other results out of that. So let's go through that. Then we see, cost per acquisition now, number 3 looks pretty promising from the cost per acquisition, but winner chicken dinner goes to number 4. Yeah, it even with more budget, with 3 times the amount of budget, it still was able to optimize and to decrease the cost per acquisition. Great. Yeah, the only one that's looking bad is number 5. The other ones are all decent. Yeah. Now we generate a number of customers, and now number 4 again is looking really good, and number 2. Yeah, again, losers are now 1 and 5. Yeah, so then we have cost per acquisition, we have some revenue associated with that. Again, they could spend something between 99 euro and 745. We don't know what they're going to buy. Yeah, and now we see that number 4, our most promising one, has generated a lot of customers, has a pretty up there revenue per customer, and resulted into a fantastic net profit of 7,000 euro. Now, all of them are fine because it's more than 0. Yeah, again, this is so hard to understand. As long as you make your money back, keep spending. Yeah, if there would be very significant money losses at this point, I would start cutting harder. Yeah, because I'm getting into realms where the money would hurt me if I lose it. But here, bam, let's reinvest the money, even though it's just it's just 32 euro back. Of course, I prefer the 7,000 euro in profit, but I just got 200 euro in ad spend for free. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And 32 euro on top. Maybe it evolves. Maybe I learn, I get smarter, I improve the funnel. Yeah, and it works out. Now, number 2
Holy.
and number 3, number 2 and number 4, they are the clear winners.
Yes.
Yeah, very clear. And number 4 is, and this happens pretty often, that one of your campaigns is starting to suck up all of the money. Again, the idea is you just need one. Yeah. Now we are in the second cycle. We are already at 1,000 ROI. This is now isolated. Yeah, you're not getting dragged down by the bad ROI from the other ones. We had at the top, we had 400, now we are at 1,000. So we 10x the money. Fantastic. Now, does this work on the next scale? Yeah, now we put another 1,000 euro in our marketing budget. Now, how does that work? Now we're here in September, and we can already see, based off the charts at the top, this looks pretty promising for number 4. Yeah, it now just rocks everything. The budget, now it got, the average would have been 600 euros, sorry. Yeah, it's 3,000 divided by 5 is 600. So everything below 600 got a nerf from me. Everything above 600 got, more money. And you can already see that this one absorbed a lot of the money. It is a very natural phenomenon that if you have a winner, you keep on putting more money on it. I still remember I had this mobile app called CSGO Skills with Maple Apps, and we had very successful Facebook and Instagram campaigns. Cost per acquisition was about 70 cents. The market average would be 150. So we were at half market average. Then we started YouTube ads, and it was 15 cents per install. And then it started absorbing the money, and people were asking like, Ben, why are you letting the social ads drop by? It's just, should I be spending 15 cents per install or 78? Even though 78 was a good number, 15 euro was just beating the shit out of that. Yeah, it's making your personal benchmark. Yes, you can compare numbers with the rest of the industry, but creating your own benchmark of what is good, what is the good number, what is the bad number, that is your job. Yeah. The way you can reverse engineer it is start with ROI, because ROI is always true. Yeah, like return of investment, all your costs, all your expenses, everything decalculated, like that is always the truth. And then you can start simplifying, because it's super annoying to take into account every number. So here we go. 1,200 euro out of the 3,000 was spent here. 369 leads. Thank you very much for 3 euro. 81 customers. Great. Yeah. And we go through, we netted 18,000 euro. The other ones are also interesting, but by now I would probably start killing this one. Yeah, the other ones are too good. This is sucking up money. This is opportunity cost. Now I do not want to spend this money anymore, because I could be spending it on my winner. Yeah, and maybe I'm gonna kill one, but those two, dang, I like it.
Bam.
Yeah. So this is the progress you want to have over time. Yeah. And if you then want to break it down even further, like compare the traffic channels, compare the placements, the targeting, and the different lead magnets, all power is yours. Yeah. You can decide what you want to show. The question is, how do we get this fucking report?
Yes.
Yeah, let's discuss that.
But I have another question. Like, would you say that the meaning of leads to people is overrated then, based on that report?
What do you mean?
Like, you hear a lot that you should optimize for to get as many leads as possible, right? And I mean, only leads can turn into customers, so that's pretty obvious. But based on that report, should I always focus more on revenue and customers than only leads? Because when we started, it looked like the one campaign was better than the other based just on the leads they were generating?
So that's a very good question, and it depends on how advanced you are on this journey. The easiest level is to just look at number of leads and cost per leads. Yeah. The next level is starting to see how many customers you got out of that, including revenue. The next level is including the cost of goods sold and focusing on net profit. But it takes time, it takes effort to actually create that. And you have to do all of this stuff while you're doing your normal job anyways. Yeah. So that is essentially the challenge. Of course, if you could just focus on ROI, on ROAS, you would always do that. It's the same with Facebook ad campaigns. If possible, you set it to just optimize for value. Yeah. If you do Google ads, you in theory, you should always optimize for return of investment and not for cost per click. Realities, make that differently. So start there and then progress. Yeah. That's that. So let's actually switch back to the slides and answer this. So first of all, maybe if you're not convinced yet that this is awesome, then get out of here. But if you are, like, go to pirateskills.com/lead-tracking, and you can actually get the links and click through those reports and see everything that we built this with.
Yes.
Yeah, and expect to have to customize that for you. Yeah, it's not a copy-paste process, but we are sharing now the process of how to get about this.
Yes.
All right. How is this awesome report built?
How is that awesome report built? So it's pretty easy, actually, because we have 4 components that we need for that. Actually 3, but I want to show you another component that you can build with Slack or Discord or any other messenger you want to have. And so the first thing we need is Google Data Studio, as you just saw, as we discussed in the last couple of minutes. Then we need Google Sheets as a database, kind of like the no-code visual database for our visualization of the data in Google Data Studio. Then we need some automation tool. In this case, we use Integromat. There are also others like Workato or Zapier, whatever you like to use, but automation tools that basically connect different apps with each other and let them talk to each other. So that's what we need. And as said, Slack or Discord or some other messaging tool that you want to use. And that's the basic setup that we need to build such a report.
So let's give a small overview. Yeah, you already saw the Google Data Studio.
Yes.
Yeah, that can just, if you download the slides, you can click on all of those links. It just leads you to the Data Studio landing page, so you can check out if this is right for you. But there are alternatives to Data Studio, right?
Yes.
Can you just, so we are not so super Google centric, you can use Excel dashboard. I heard it's awesome.
Yeah, you could use that. You could also use tools like Apteo or Supermetrics, right?
Yeah.
There are a bunch of different tools that
for visualization. Yeah.
Yes, Wally is also another one. They all differ in pricing and visualization. Like, yeah, you just choose the tool that you want to use. In this case, we use Google Data Studio, and that one is free as well.
Yeah, the 2 places I like to go hunting for tools are g2.com. Yeah, it's like a software comparison thing with pretty public reviews, and it's heavily used. And then for new stuff, cutting edge stuff, I like to stalk Product Hunt.
Yeah.
Still these days, I find amazing fun tools there.
Yeah, definitely. You can also look at visualmakers.de/tools.
Your tool collection.
Yes, we also have a tool collection there where you can have insights with screenshots and so on into the tools, and also if they are GDPR compliant, yes, and stuff like that. So you can also have a look there.
All the good stuff.
Yes.
Now we share our fully GDPR compliant Google spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna dig into that at the end, but maybe you want to explain what you can see here.
So the Google Sheet is where the magic actually happens. You can think about this as Google Sheet as the database, kind of where all your data lays together or comes together, and the Google Data Studio is just on top of that and kind of visualizes
Making
the data.
it pretty, make the insights more obvious.
Yeah.
Like we just noticed when we saw, oh, like shit, campaign number 2.
Yeah, and I like to think of it like Google Sheets is the part of when we have the sentence work smart, not hard. Is it's like, okay, Google Sheets is kind of like the part where it looks hard.
Yeah.
And the Google Data Studio is the smart part.
Yeah.
But we come to that. It looks kind of a lot of data and really boring and so on, but you actually don't ever have to look in this because you automate all that stuff. All the data comes into the Google Sheet, and then you only look into Google Data Studio to see your data visualized.
And you check that you don't see bullshit. Yeah, your spreadsheet is the truth. Yeah,
Yes.
and sometimes you have mistakes in your visualizations.
Yeah.
and that happens. So, and the way the data gets into the spreadsheet and into your messenger can be
Integromat, by example. This is a screenshot of Integromat, where you see a so-called scenario where you connect different apps with each other. So you have these little bubbles you see there. These are Google Sheet modules where you just automatically can add a row or search for a row, stuff like that. If you want to dive deeper into that, we have a bunch of introduction videos on visualmakers.com. Also that one that you just saw about the StatSpot. So yeah, if you want to dive deeper into that, then
maybe
please.
we can show them in a second. So where would I go here?
Yeah, sure.
If you speak German, yeah, this is all right for you.
Yes.
I would probably go to learning.
Yes. And then it's actually in the second row in the middle. This one, yes, the KPI and StatSpot. This is what you just saw, because when you have your Google data sheet where all your data comes together, you can also build something like a StatSpot that pushes your daily stats or your weekly stats or whatever you like into your Slack or Discord or whatever you like channel. Also, Microsoft Teams is also possible.
Of course. I heard.
Yes, I heard that too.
So this is for example what I made for Discord. It just tells me like how many leads came in on a certain date from a certain campaign, how much money I spent on that campaign, what was the cost per lead. That kind of is to me like the pulse. So I don't always have to open the Google Data Studio.
Yeah.
It reminds me, oh yeah, my funnels are living and breathing and they're somehow working out.
Yeah.
And everybody else can see it as well.
Yes, definitely. And that's a really big part, I think, that actually your team knows how many leads did you get, how many revenue did you make. And so the whole team can feel responsible and kind of feel ownership for the topic you're working on right now. You can do that for several KPIs, and also for this lead generation tracking. It's really, really great to have a bot like that, and you can generate that just from your Google Sheet as well. Do we want to jump into the Google Sheet?
All right. Yeah, you can grab it. You guys can also grab it from the Pirate Skills domain. We linked directly to this Google Sheet, while the link you see right now is just if you want to explore Google Sheets as a tool, yeah, as compared to, for example, to an Airtable, Ctable. Yeah, there are many alternatives. We just think like Google Sheets has become pretty much like a standard API that you can use without needing to code.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's maybe you show us around into the spreadsheet. And Lilith, I really want to thank you for introducing me to Integromat. Like I used Zapier before a lot, but once I realized that Integromat is faster, cheaper, and from the EU, I was like, dang, Ben.
Yeah.
There are just a couple of things that I still have running in Zapier because they are like exclusives. Yeah, super stupid.
Yeah.
But everything else I prefer now to have running through Integromat. So if you are running currently on Zapier, don't hate them, but Integromat has just major advantages.
Yeah, I mean, Zapier is really good to start because you kind of learn the concept of automation and how to connect things. And Integromat can do a lot more, actually, like from a technical side of view, but it's also really easy to use. So if you haven't heard about it, go ahead and try it out. It's a really, really awesome tool.
Okay, we are 1 hour in. All right. Guys, are you still with us?
All
Leave us
right.
a comment and don't forget to ask questions at pirateskiss.com/questions.
Yeah.
So let's take a walk through this fantastic spreadsheet. So here's the mouse, there's the spreadsheet.
All right.
All power to you.
Okay, so we have this awesome spreadsheet here. As said, it's all model data, but realistic data. So all these email addresses are not real. Yeah, obviously because of GDPR reasons. So what we have here, this is the most important sheet that we have. You see, we have one big spreadsheet with a few different working sheets, I think, tabs.
Yeah, I call them sheets.
No, okay, you call them sheets. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you call the whole thing?
The whole thing, maybe the spreadsheet, maybe the tip. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Well, doesn't matter. You know what we mean? We have, let's say we have one big spreadsheet and a few different tabs in them. So one of the most important, or the most important one, is your tab All Leads. And that is where kind of all the magic happens, because here you put every single lead you put in this tab. So what we have here is we have an ID, and that's really important to give all your leads an ID, because then you can kind of track them in the whole customer life cycle.
Yeah.
Then you also have a date, really important to also track like how long you your whole process is from lead to revenue.
And usually the email is like the most common unique identifier across tools.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course, if you are further along this journey, if you have another user ID because you want to have multiple emails through one customer, that works as well. Yeah, for sure. But we're using email as the unique identifier. When somebody is a lead and then uses the same email to buy something or is from the same company, this is why we have the company tab, then we can tag this revenue belonging to that lead.
Yeah, but I would say exactly because of that you might have different email addresses in different accounts. Like, by example, okay, if you run a community and people log into your website with a different email address than in Slack or Discord. So that's why I really think it makes sense to have an ID as well that you kind of put into all your tools, like your CRM, your mailing tool, your newsletter tool, and so on.
So just to make it practical, we have a quiz, and people fill out this quiz and to buy to get a service or some free loadable from you.
Yeah.
And once they submitted the quiz, Integromat makes that they land in here.
Yes.
And then the marketing stuff I can maybe do. The campaign ID is really helpful for me to put the costs of the campaign. If I want to pull the cost data from Facebook ads, Google ads, it's important to not only have the name of the campaign, but the actual ID.
Yeah.
Then, as you know, you guys, I love UTM parameters. Yeah, source, medium, campaign, term, content. Yeah, this tells me exactly where this person is coming from. Now, these are only paid ads, but you can use it for your email campaigns, for affiliates, for influencers, for partnerships. You can use those UTM parameters everywhere. And if you just save that with your lead, every time you collect the lead, you're making a huge step further. So, and then, we want to know, is it a customer or not?
Yes.
This, of course, is not happening at the time when the people become a lead. They just fulfilled the quiz. They are not become a customer right now.
Yes.
But what Integromat does is checks if somebody buys it, is that person already on the list? And then adds that information.
In different scenarios. So you have one scenario or one automation putting your lead into our Google data, our Google Sheet. And then we have another one that tracks, okay, did a purchase happen,
Yeah.
or is that becoming a customer? Yeah.
And this can happen with leads that just 3 days ago became leads, but this can also happen 35 days or 97 days afterwards. Yeah, that is the value.
Yeah.
And then it of course shows the revenue. You can see this person bought something for 199 euro, and it resulted in a cost of goods sold of 66 euro. Yeah. Again, cost of goods sold is optionally, that is like the last thing to actually get to net profits. Feel free to skip that. Yeah. Okay, but this is basically all the information we need from the people. Now the second tab, and I just noticed that people couldn't actually see they couldn't actually see the whole spreadsheet. So let me
Oh, no.
So let me make it possible for you guys to actually see the whole thing. So let me just make it a bit ugly for a second. Ah, here we go. Now you can actually see the tabs. Yeah. All right, and let's make it so that it's not covering our whole face. So here we go. That looks appropriate. Now you can see the different tabs. We were in the All Leads tab. Now what we need in order to put this data together with the campaign data is a source like your Facebook ads account, your LinkedIn ads account, your Instagram account. And these are essentially the campaigns we have running for July, August, September. Let me tell you, there are, and Lilith told me so, there are better ways to aggregate this and to show this data. Yeah, and in summary slides, I always excluded them through my Data Studio filters, but this is usually unnecessary. You just use this to put in the raw data, and then the prettification happens in Google.
Or the disclaimer I would like to do here is that when we talk about leads and the lead tab, that should definitely be automated by any means.
Yeah.
So you never touch that. It's just getting automated leads in, and also tracking, okay, if a purchase happened and if this is becoming a customer. But in campaigns, by example, in this tab, you can decide if you want to put in your data manually. That's okay. There are better ways, of course, when you put it in automatically. It wouldn't look like this when it's automatically put in there, because you don't have the summaries and so on.
Yeah.
But that's a totally fine way to do that.
One free add-on I'm using to get the Facebook ads data. There's one very popular one called Supermetrics, but it's also pretty super expensive. Yeah, but I love it. This is my favorite one. So if you are spending more than 10K per month in ad spend, seriously consider Supermetrics and its competitors as the main tool to automate it. But there is a great free one, especially for Facebook ads. And if you're going into the add-ons section of your Google spreadsheet, you can add new add-ons, and there's one called Adveronix. Yeah, I know it's a bit hard to read, but Adveronix. And that simply helps you to pull the data from specific campaigns, from all of your campaigns. It automatically updates as fast as once per hour, which is fast enough for me. Yeah, and it's doing it for free. Yeah, it's just not as stable as Supermetrics. So sometimes you have to make sure that the schedule is still working. It's not bad or anything. It's just the difference between a free tool and a paid tool. Yeah, pretty often. So we got, in the first half of this, we got all of the lead and the campaign related data. So we get up to the number of leads, which is actually pulled not from the Facebook and Instagram ad data, LinkedIn ad data, but from the All Leads tab. If this lead is being tagged by being part of that campaign ID, yeah, then in this tab, it sums up the leads. The problem, yeah,
You can see the formula up there.
probably in some really good viewers can see that. But
Yeah, true.
that's fine. Yeah. Again, if you download this spreadsheet, yeah, and you can make a copy, you get a view link, but then you can make your own copy. You can see all the formulas behind that, and make it even better than it already is. Yeah. So the reason why I do not anymore take the data seriously from the campaign data, because the campaign also tells me, hey, you got so many leads, is that this number is in the campaign data usually much lower because of GDPR. First of all, people need to opt in, yeah, that they want to be tracked with the Facebook or LinkedIn pixel, which at a maximum 60 to 80% of people do. So that, and the most cookie banners I see, they don't have an opt-in rate of more than 15 to 20%. Yeah, so I see a fifth of my data. Nah, I don't need to do that. If I capture and people consent to that, but they need to consent in order to get the result of the quiz, yeah, for example, yeah, and double check that with your lawyers. I get the complete set of leads that came through that campaign. And this is, again, one of the reasons why I would highly recommend that you use in the beginning single isolated campaigns to set this up that is not interfered by with SEO traffic on organic social media and word of mouth yet. Yeah, you can integrate all of that later.
How do I make sure that it's not interfering?
For example, put it up on a landing page that is not visible anywhere else but through the URL that you gave.
Yeah.
Yeah. De-index it from the search engine. Don't share it on Facebook. Don't share it on your email campaigns. Yeah. So just copy your given landing page. That is like the simplest way to make sure, oh yeah, they're just coming from this channel. And you can go as far as breaking it down for each campaign. Yeah. If you want to be super paranoid by that, but there are easier ways. Yeah. And all of the landing page building tools that I talked about in the interactive lead magnet guides, they automatically do that for you without you having to copy anything. So you get the number of leads, you get the cost, and you get the real cost per lead. Not the one, maybe at Facebook it says €8. Yeah, but here's the truth. Or it's closer to the truth. Yeah, at least. Now we can get the second half from our CRM. Let's say you use Pipedrive, ActiveCampaign, Shopify. They can tell you that a person became a customer. Yeah? And again, we pull this data from the leads sheet. Yeah, from the all leads sheet, from this one. Because here, oh yeah, this guy is a customer. Now, this is being summed if it came from that specific campaign.
Count if.
Yeah, it's count if.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can see here our favorite campaign, number 4, has 154 leads. We have a 20% conversion rate to customers. Awesome. Yeah. And we have a cost per acquisition there. This number we didn't even see in the Data Studio because we didn't yet put it on there.
True.
Yeah. But it's very important to see.
Really big indicator.
Yeah. And you can also see that the problem of the first campaign, it's not bad. It creates good leads, but the conversion rate to customers sucks. And that usually happens when your lead magnet doesn't have a strong relationship with your product. Yeah, when you're offering, for example, you offer a contest with €100 Amazon coupon code, like everybody's gonna sign up. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. You see it here. You see when the leads are not converting to customers. Here we have a strong relationship between the lead magnet and the product, and therefore a high conversion rate. And then we see, oh yeah, and all of this is calculated. Most of these fields are just simple calculations. I need the number of leads. I need the revenue from the CRM. And you could even do that with, if you have a long sales cycle. We initially wanted to do it with deal stages, but I decided it was too fucking complex. Yeah. And then you see the ROAS and everything.
But as you see, there are fields that are gray, and it always makes sense. I like to set up my account sheets, how I call them, these spreadsheets, where I put the calculated sheets in another color than the other ones. It's just for, I noticed. So that's why I wanted to say it. I really recommend that. So
people don't just override it with a real number.
Yeah.
That's the worst that could happen.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I did like yesterday night, I made copies of everything. I was like, jeez, what if I gave people edit rights accidentally instead of view rights? Okay, so this is the thing, yeah? And then we just have some additional information where we keep track of campaigns on a daily basis, but this is just to make it look pretty later. Yeah, it just helps us a lot to slice and dice the data and see how campaigns are progressing over time. This is just a sneak peek into the stat spot, but we have a way better explanation in your own courses. Yeah?
Yes.
And I always have sometimes like a dump. Yeah, something where I just generate data in order to put it somewhere else. Yeah, this is just helpful tips. These two are the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Yes.
That feeds the data studio.
That is where the magic happens.
Yeah. And Intrigomart is the magic glue that gets the data combined with some Google add-ons. That's pretty much it.
They actually had the slogan some time ago. I'm not sure why they don't have it anymore. The glue of the internet, and I think that was a
That's excellent.
pretty nice slogan.
So how can people actually get started for themselves? They think now this is happening. How do we get started? Yeah, what do we do?
So you're the marketing expert here. I'm the nerdy data thing here. So let's start with the campaign.
Okay, so just a couple of pointers. Yeah, start with just one campaign. Choose one lead magnet, one landing page, one traffic channel. For example, choose your best quiz, on your best landing page with your Instagram story ads, because this is your best channel. Yeah, not in this scenario, but in your scenario. I often see that. And try to make it work like that. Do not try to make this for your whole business immediately. It always fails because there are too many, especially once you try to figure in costs. Yeah, it just gets too complex.
Yeah.
So isolate it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, it's doable also with different campaigns and so on, but it really makes sense to get started with one because then you get a chance to also understand the data to see, okay, what is fitting for your company specifically. So really start with one and explore, try it out. You can't really break anything because there's always the return button.
Yeah.
But the important thing is to try it out and see what is really fitting for your business. And it's a really good start.
And are there better tools than Google Sheets? Of course, to do this. Like one of the handicaps I'm currently having here is I can only track one sale, which is completely stupid. Like what if people buy multiple things?
Well, you would have to extend your Google Sheet. Your lead spreadsheet to track different, but then it gets really complex.
Right. Or you can, again, I had this case like a couple of days ago. Then we had a Shopify store and we wanted to see how many people are buying, and it absolutely did not make sense to split it. So the solution was to still stick with this Google spreadsheet, but then just have how many products did they buy? What was the total revenue instead of the revenue from the single one? So there are always simple workarounds. This sheet does not need to be perfect. The complex solutions usually just integrate more of the realistic revenue. But if you are willing to stay conservative and keep it simple and still make it work, that's the way to go.
And the whole point of this is to understand your business better and to invest in the campaigns, in the measurements that really matter and that really bring your business forward. So it doesn't have to be all perfect, and that is close enough and that's good enough.
Yeah. Then, if you want to start with something, start with the number of leads and the cost per lead. Those are the easiest to track. If you do not do paid advertising at all, then just stick to number of leads. Let's say you're strong in email marketing, SEO, and social media. You don't have that cost. In theory, you could put a fictional price on it. Like maybe use some of the personnel costs you invest or the cost of the agency that you are paying. But if you don't have it, just stick with the number of leads, and you will clearly see one campaign generates more leads than another. That's good enough. If you have costs, add the costs and tune that until it works. Like I noticed, and I called you a couple of times, like that stuff is breaking down. After a while, like how'd you deal with that?
Well, right now I'm really pretty fast at finding the error. So one thing that you need to get used to is to finding the error, like in basically everything. So
Yeah.
what really helps is to start small, as said before, and then iterate from there. Then add a little more things, because it's really
Yeah.
important that you, no matter how complex it gets, that you still understand what you're doing and what your data does. So really start small and then make it bigger.
Yeah. And handle errors. Yeah. In especially in Integromat. Yeah. When you pull the data over the Google add-ons. And you have to be willing to accept that there is some time until it's smooth, until everything
Yes.
runs, and you just have once a month have to check that you're not displaying bullshit. Yeah. And then you are ready to go to the next step and start to include revenue and cost data, so you're able to say, like, this is the return of advertising spend. And the most important, like, ROAS and net profit are the most important numbers in marketing. Yeah.
And that is something you should definitely calculate inside your database, like your Google spreadsheet. Because if you start to put that from another tool, by example, via Integromat, into some database, then there's a really high chance that you get it wrong, because I don't know, it skipped a row, or it overwrote a row, something like that. So really, all the things that you can calculate in an Excel or Google Sheet or any other database that you have, please do that, because the error code gets quite high.
Yeah. And then you can expand to more and more and more campaigns until you include most of the critical campaigns that you have. And I always try to remember is that I only need one campaign that I can spend €1,000 on, make a net profit of more than zero. 2,000 would be fun, yeah, as I showed in the example before. Yeah. And then the question just becomes, how often can I spend those €1,000? Maybe I start with monthly, then I move to weekly, then I move to daily. Yeah, and then I increase the budget from 1,000 to 30,000 euro over a period of time. Like, that could carry my whole business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is good enough. Do not get completely only in hustle here, hustle there, hustle there. Focus, make one campaign work and follow the data.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just follow where you feel like there is something happening there. Maybe keep your options open, always have like 2 or 3 of those running up over time. Yeah, not too many. Yeah, that derails you, except when you have a large team, then you can easily afford to do that.
Yeah. And if you're just starting out with tracking your leads like that, then take the time and play around with that. Like, if you have the data already in your Google Sheet, then play around in Google Data Studio to display different things. Because as we just saw in our example, there are sometimes data points where you get really surprised or excited how these numbers are, because you just didn't notice them, because there are just too many data points. So really take the time to play around and explore your data. It can be really fun. So and also with all these tools, and also in general with no-code tools, it's really easy to explore, to try different things, because you can't really break anything. Yeah. And it's really important that you really understand what you're doing.
Yeah, and those go to the basic numbers. Think about what are relevant out of those for us. Maybe you find some more, like conversion rates, which I feel are missing here, and just ignore the ones that are yet too complicated. Yeah, and if you need more help, no problem. Yeah, we guys are more than happy to support you. You can contact either Lilith or me. Here are our emails and our LinkedIn. And I would say Lilith goes way deeper in the whole automation and MVP product creation and that kind of stuff, all the complete no-code world. And I go deeper into the scalable marketing world. Yeah, and sometimes we can do stuff together. We can also do projects together,
Yeah.
which would be awesome and fun.
Yeah, I would love to.
So that's the main input we wanted to give you. That leaves just the Q&A. Thank you, Lilith, so very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's check out if we got any questions up and coming. So this is an interactive part. We can let the hair down now, I guess. Take a sip here. Guys, scan this code or go to pirateskills.com/questions and you will be able to see the questions that we have up and running right now. And the first thing we usually ask for is feedback. Like, how would you recommend this event on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being definitely I would recommend it to a friend or colleague. 1 being no fucking way. So let's open up the tab here. You can already see the questions are coming in. So scan this, go here, and keep adding that. And I will now start the poll, and you can give us a little bit of feedback, and we can have a little sip of drinkage. Yeah. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely would you recommend this event to a friend or colleague? Don't need to flatter us, be honest. And if you have very concrete suggestions, just send us a mail. Like, this is work in progress. Yeah, we are going to make this the best thing possible over a period of time. I keep this open while we are starting to answer the question, and then we can go back to that. So we got a number of questions here. Let's open them up and start discussing. What's an alternative to Google Sheets as a no-code database? Yes, Lilith. What is it? I have no idea.
So there are really different options. So and we have to differ between spreadsheet-like databases and databases.
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah. So the difference is spreadsheets are cell-based, so you can put formulas into single cells, and visual databases are column-based, so you can set a specific formula, by example, for a column, and then it goes through all your rows. So we have different options there. On the spreadsheet side, we have tools like Rows, by example, which is a
Rows.com.
Yes, Rows.com, which is really awesome.
Amazing domain.
Yeah, it is. They are a really awesome team also. They're from Berlin, started from Berlin. And another, on the visual database side, I would say Airtable, which is probably the most popular one. But if you're not confident with because they're a company from the US, there's an alternative. It's called cTable, which is kind of the German alternative. I'm not sure how they chose the name.
Not sure either.
Like cTable and Airtable. I think they are not. It's not related.
I know
actually,
a lot of
but it's still
developers
funny.
who have like a mobile app, and they use Airtable to input all of the content.
Yeah.
In there, and a Google Sheet would definitely not be enough. For that. So this is pretty robust. You can have any types of data sets. It can images, videos, dates, multiple product purchases.
Yes.
It can do pretty much anything.
Yeah. It's a really, really great tool. We also use it. You find also lots of videos or courses on visualmaker.de.
Yeah.
But these are the ones that I would really recommend. So Rows as a spreadsheet alternative, Airtable and cTable as a visual database for pretty much anything, not only for leads and tracking and analytics, but also for like if you want to build an app or a web app or a website or something like that, then you can also use cTable and Airtable.
All right. Now we still got 4 questions. Now you notice like the questions are coming in once people really realize like how to use it. Mm-hmm. How can I use Integromat automation without knowing how to code?
Yes.
You can. It's not how can I.
No, it's not how.
Can
it's,
I?
Can I?
They ask you in
definitely.
the onboarding, like, how proficient are you in coding? And if you are a developer, you can do magic shit that you normally would have to do manually.
But you actually can get into it as well. So 6 years
Yeah.
ago, probably when we met, actually, the first time, I still wanted to be an actress. I had no clue about tech at all. Like, I couldn't even handle Excel sheets. I mean, who does that really? But I couldn't even do the part
Yeah.
that everyone says they can. Um, so I really got into tech with no code. And also my specific topic is automations, actually. So I started out with automations without even knowing how to code at all.
Yeah.
I started with Zapier, which I would recommend as a starting point. But I think, especially for the people that are here, probably Integromat is the better solution because it's really easy to learn as well.
There's
And
this whole movement away from custom code
yeah,
to no code. So don't feel like this is second class coding.
no.
Yeah, it is really a serious alternative. Everything has been abstracted away. Nobody is putting zeros and ones into computers anymore.
And it's not even an alternative. It's kind of like the for a lot of parts of coding, it's an evolution, I would say, because you can build much faster, much cheaper, and you don't have to code everything yourself.
Yeah.
And also for marketing teams and so on, they can just, or HR teams, or basically any team, they're always
Just want to become
automations.
independent.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you don't have to ask like every time the dev team or the IT team and wait for a week, but you can also just play around with that stuff. So
Integromat frees you in that way. It just gives you magic powers that you otherwise just wouldn't have. And even if you could custom code, you will probably not want to do it until you know that it even works. When you have a functioning funnel and everything is working smooth, all right, go custom code it. If there is an efficiency or cost benefit to you, make it so. But otherwise, just stick with the simple solutions.
And it's also, again, about data-driven decisions. So with no code, no code is for me really power to the people because you can just explore without having to learn how to code like for several years.
Yeah. Let's pick up another question. Keep the questions coming if you guys like. I like, I like it very much. Do all 3 lead magnets lead to sales of the same product and service, or do they also differ accordingly? Okay, in this example, they can lead to any of the product sales, and they actually do. Yeah, so they are just different lead magnets. Like it could be a quiz, it could be a survey, it could be just a downloadable PDF. Yeah, it could be a contest. And the customers choose which level they want to purchase. Yeah, this example would be very much appropriate for something where just the bottom price is €99 and people can upgrade up to €750 per month, and they make that decision. Yeah, a customer that I work with that is a good example of how that works would be Userlike. Yeah, like the chat application for your website. And that really does good customer interaction. They are very different server levels depending on how many users you have in your website and in support levels. So all lead magnets should at some point lead to all products, but of course there are lead magnets that are most fitting. Let's talk about this one here. The lead tracking guide is for me a long-term a lead magnet for the workshop data analytics. That is the most obvious one. But after I pitched that, I will pitch the other ones that are most likely to interest somebody who started in this round. So you use your lead magnets to start the segmentation process, but segmentation only means showing people your products in order of probability of sales. Yeah, and for them to find faster solution for that problem, for you to make money faster. Yeah. Let's do this one. How do you automate lead analytics with deal stage information from your CRM? In your case, customer. we started with that. Yeah. So what we would do is, and we actually had this up and running. Yeah. So if you look here, now it's just customer. What you need is different columns for each deal stage.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And then your CRM, let's say it's Pipedrive or ActiveCampaign, pulls that data through Integromat into the Google spreadsheet and updates that row, because the combining thing might be the deal ID, which you might add. It might be the company, the account ID, or it might be the email address. With B2B lead stages, it's usually the company name or ID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you could also do is, and I would really recommend that, is add another tab with deals.
Yeah.
And then list all your deals in there. And then you can see, okay, where, so first of all, for the customers or leads, where you put in, okay, which deal stage are they on? And then you can list them again in the deals tab.
Yeah.
And then you can accumulate the data again.
Okay. Now we get 2 more questions. They keep on coming. Right? So is it possible to mirror display /display ads to competitors / specific sites or companies will have interest talking to? Is it possible to mirror ads to competitors or display ads to competitors to specific sites or companies will have interest talking to? Maybe you paraphrase that question again and type it.
I don't really get it either.
Yeah, we come back to that.
Yeah.
Please paraphrase it again, and then we will answer that in a moment. Let me just click it away, and you can rephrase it. So,
Oh, that's a good one.
this one. Let's open it. So, what's your definition of a lead? Gut email address, watched video. What would you say? It's a lead. I have that discussion so often. Should I handle that? What do you think?
Well, at the first time you can, probably would be the first time someone's somehow interested, right? So
But is it just visiting the website?
Yeah, so what is interested? I think visiting the website is definitely
But
something.
I don't have the
because,
contact data.
Yeah, that's true. So
Maybe.
I would say, okay, in this example, a lead would be the first time I have somehow data about that lead.
Yeah. So there are many different levels of leads, and this is why, and we covered that in another meetup. The concept of lead scoring was invented because there are leads and there are leads.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. True.
And lead scoring is also wonderfully done through Integromat and marketing automation and the spreadsheet magic.
Automation is just
Automation. So I would say the lead starts when it's first time in your database, but it can start at different levels. Yeah. If you have somebody coming in through your let's say an appointment schedule to get a demo from a product, that is a very high level lead with a high conversion rate. Maybe 1 out of 3 you're gonna convert there. If you have a contest and you convert 2 out of 100, that is a different lead score. Yeah, so you essentially give the one with a 2 out of 100 chance 2 points, yeah, in lead scoring terms, and the one who has a chance of a third to convert 33 points. Yeah, and whenever they do something very, very active, you can just add on that number, the number of emails they open, how many lead magnets they downloaded, and that stuff. And once it reaches a certain threshold in the lead score, we call them a marketing qualified lead, MQL. This is the point when we hand it over to sales, if there is a sales process. If it's B2C, we just keep on messaging them until they buy. If they are if they get into a sales organization, they get pretty much like an ordered list by lead score, but only the marketing qualified leads, so they don't waste their time calling people who are not qualified. But they then make the decision, is it a sales qualified lead? Maybe the person already bought it. Maybe the person just bought a competitive product and cannot switch for a year or something like that. And they make the decision at the end, is it a sales qualified lead? But we go we call everything a lead, the way we have contact data in a CRM, so at least an email address usually, or a subscription to a messenger or something like that. But then we actually want to get to MQLs. Yeah, so cost per MQL is a very important metric in the bigger sales process organizations. So when you have deal stages and have bigger demand generation projects, then you would definitely not go for cost per lead, but for cost per MQL. So good questions, guys.
Yes.
Last one. Can I connect Shop Analytics, Shopify, with campaigns without having the opt-in? The lead part was clear, but how to measure if the user became a customer? Okay. I swear I did this Tuesday. So again, I can take that. So what you do in Integromat, you have two automations. You generate the lead, they go into the Google data spreadsheet. Yeah, the next automation watches your orders. Whenever a new order comes in, Integromat then takes this email address and looks, probably in the third automation, is this person already on the Google Doc? If not, it puts it there, yeah? Or you tell them, no, don't do it because they were not coming from our lead magnet, yeah, depending on what you want. And that way, it just adds the column information, like, did they buy, did they not buy?
So it updates the road, not...
Yeah, it updates. It doesn't create a new row.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how you do that. This is how, without having the opt-in, you can connect those data points. They at some point would have to agree to your data processing practices when they submit the lead magnet, but this is a mandatory field in most cases. Yeah, you ask people, do you agree with our data processing? And in there you say, like, you're ending up in the CRM called Shopify, yeah, or MailChimp or Klaviyo, and you end up in a Google spreadsheet, and then people can decline or not get the value of the lead magnet.
Yeah.
So, but the email opt-in, that is usually the part where you actually have to have a very proactive opt-in if you don't want to get fucked. And the same goes for the pixels. Yeah. So this is actually my favorite way to get people completely tracked without having the explicit pixel consent. Yeah, and it's getting worse and worse with the pixel consent. Yeah, so there are ways to figure that out. And I discovered something that on Tuesday that I was very surprised by. If you export the customers from your Shopify, you have way more data about the UTM parameters than you could ever see in the dashboards. The dashboard of Shopify is so stupid. It then shows you like maybe 10% are coming like from Facebook ads, from this and that, and you know it's 80%. But when you export the database, you can see the UTM parameters straight. I don't know why they cannot manage to associate that, but export the data and then look at the UTM parameter tabs.
So build your own dashboards.
Yes. Then you get closer to the truth. Paraphrasing. Great. Is it possible to display social ads depending on the browsing history of a user, use case, target user visits, competitive product? Let me think about it. In a direct one-to-one relationship, I can already tell you no. Yeah, so you do not get that information. But if your target audience is like the competitive audience is big enough, let's say you want to target people who are interested in Tesla, it's very likely that Google's and Facebook's definition of a Facebook user, of a person who is in the audience of Tesla, also includes the people who have visited the website. Very likely that they do that. But that, pretty much bogs you down into using audience that are really big, or influencers that you want to retarget. That usually works if their influence is big enough so that they have their own interest group in Facebook or Instagram. And I even would prefer that over they actually visited their website. And it's even if you have two domains, in the same company and people move from one domain to the next, it's hard to track, and it's getting way harder to track because browsers and Apple and everybody in the world is cracking down on cross-browser tracking. Yeah, and it's super annoying, cross-domain tracking. It's getting seriously annoying. This thing that we showed you today, converting them first to leads and then selling them stuff, that is by now the best way I know on how to get around of all of this stuff and get the consent for it willingly from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hope that
And-
answers the question.
Yeah, but I think so.
Let's see. Do we have more? Shall we take one more?
Sure.
Last question, then maybe we can look at the poll results. What if it's horrible?
I'm not sure.
Did I kill the poll?
I don't know.
No. 8 people. Oh, you gave us a couple of marks. 9.4 average. Thank you
Nice.
very much for the feedback. Feel free to give us
you.
constructive, critical feedback as well, but thank you very much.
Yes.
Last question of the night. Can the data sources you named, Facebook ads, etc., also be used to get data for churn rates, e.g., how many took the quiz but didn't consent to share their email? Yes, absolutely. But you don't have the email from those people. But what I regularly do, especially, I love this tool called Outgrow. Yeah. Because it gives me all of the data from the people who did not even complete the quiz. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So I have the complete data set. Let's say you have 10 questions. If they break off at 7, you still get the data set, which is valuable insight for you maybe. And if they fill it out but do not tell you to share, like everything gets sent to a Google Doc with me, everything. Yeah. If it would be GDPR compliant, I would show you right now. Yeah. But maybe we have to do that in a private session. You have to sign a paper or something. So feel free to connect with us about questions like that. Yeah, but yes, it's absolutely possible. The solution is putting all of the quiz spreadsheet data into Google Sheets and then looking, did they consent, did they not consent?
Well, but it only works with different tools. Like with Outgrow, it works. Not sure if it works with Typeform as well.
You know what? I found the universal hack.
Yeah.
If you use the webhooks
True.
after each question, yeah, so the visit-based webhooks, and then send them to the spreadsheet, the tool doesn't need to support incomplete. Yeah. And usually you get this at a very high price tier. First, the incomplete answers and other magic stuff. But once you understand how to use webhooks, yeah, that is a word you have to Google and check out in combination with Integromat, you are free to do all kinds of stuff that is only available on the highest tiers. So have fun with that information. All right. Then let's switch back. You can keep on learning. Yeah, check out the YouTube channel, check out visualmaker.de, come into our community on Discord and keep on engaging and skilling up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you need
And
even
have
more help,
fun with it.
yeah, it's so fucking fun. Yeah, then just get in touch with us. We would love to do something together with you guys. Yeah,
We do.
all right. Any last meaningful words?
Thank you so much for having me. I didn't get that in the first part when you did this. Like I didn't. Do you know this potato and fries?
No,
It's like potato and fries.
potato
Potato
and
fries.
fries. All
I
right.
got it from Manuel actually.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much for being here. It was really amazing to be in the show.
Thank you so much for inspiring this topic. Yeah, and for letting me deep dive and helping me where I went wrong. Yeah, I hope I got to a level that is reasonable, that is workable.
We're working on it.
And I hope to see you guys next time when we talk about the traffic channels of how you can actually now push people in there. And this is going to happen on the first Wednesday of November. Yeah, go to pirateskills.com, check everything out, and we will catch you there. I would say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.